When I finished my cancer treatment, the first thought I had was, now that I'm cancer-free, how am I going to stay cancer-free? I mean, I had access to all of these experts throughout my treatment to help me get rid of cancer. But now that I was cancer-free, how was it going to stop cancer from coming back? I needed to do absolutely everything in my power to give myself the best shot at staying cancer-free. But I didn't know where to start. I mean, follow-up scans and oncologist appointments, they're great, but they're not stopping cancer from coming back. They're just trying to catch it early. There has to be a better way, and there is. Thankfully, before I was diagnosed with cancer, I was already working in cancer care. I'm an oncology researcher and clinician who also happened to have been diagnosed with cancer. So I knew if there was a person to find the best possible evidence on how to stay cancer-free, it was me. So I got to work. After years of diving into the research, testing it out on myself, and working with thousands of women diagnosed with cancer, this is what I found. I've created the best possible plan to lower your risk of a cancer recurrence. In this video, I'm showing you 5 simple strategies that I use with my clients to help them stay cancer-free. Now, before the haters and the trolls get into the comment section, there's one important thing you need to note. There is obviously no 100% guarantee that we can stop your cancer from coming back. That does not exist. But there are highly proven strategies to significantly reduce the risk of recurrence. We can drop your risk of a cancer recurrence by up to 60%. Now, as a cancer survivor myself, I want a risk reduction of 60%. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you how to do right here. These strategies have been proven across numerous studies and have been shown to effectively lower your risk of cancer. They're proven to work. Now, we're going to get into these 5 simple strategies, but first, there are really 2 reasons why cancer survivors are not using these strategies. The first is that they simply don't know about them. Their oncologist never mentioned it to them. No one ever brought it up as something to consider. They never read it anywhere. They just simply don't know. The second reason, and the most important, is that cancer survivors know about these strategies, but they simply don't understand how to effectively implement them. Changing lifestyle habits is hard. It doesn't matter if you've had a cancer diagnosis in your past or not. It's still really difficult. People often think because you're diagnosed with this life-threatening illness that it makes it easy for you to change your habits forever. But that's simply not true. Motivation comes and goes. And as cancer fades into the past, motivation fades too. Or in some cases, you might be so incredibly exhausted and beat up from your treatment that you can't even imagine starting to implement a brand new lifestyle or strategy. And that's exactly how my client Kelsey felt. Check it out here.
Even if I don't want to do this thing today, I rarely get up and I can't wait to go on the walking pad. I am creaky and crabby and I haven't had coffee yet, but I get my butt on it and I do it on days I don't want to. And you said it also, the women that are the most successful in this program are the women that do it when they don't want to.
Yeah.
And don't rely on the feeling of motivation to actually
do it anyways.
You just do it. I feel like I have really good resources in terms of social support, family, friends. I have my own therapist. I have plenty of things that help me in all the other ways. And I felt like what I didn't know was how to physically recover from chemo and truly what to do so that I could say I've done every possible thing I can to never do this again.
If any of this sounds familiar to you, then you're in good hands. The first thing that we really need to dive into is your food. There is power in your food. Your food, without a doubt, it plays a role here. It can either fuel your cancer or fight your cancer. You get to decide. This is why it's so important to eat a diet that's tailored specifically to you and your cancer diagnosis. And when I finished my own personal cancer treatment, I wondered, what should I eat? Or what should I avoid? There are so many looming questions and so many conflicting answers. But once I figured out and used a science-backed strategy to fuel my nutrition, that's when I noticed a huge change. Now, you're likely thinking that you eat really healthy already. And honestly, all women that come to me after cancer, they're already eating healthy. You care about your health, and that's why you're here watching this video. But eating healthy before cancer is very different than eating healthy after cancer. And there are also foods out there that can severely slow down your recovery and jeopardize your remission. And that's exactly what we do not want. Now, many cancer survivors mistakenly think that eating to prevent a cancer recurrence means never having dessert again, never going out for dinner with friends, or never having celebratory drinks. There's a lot of conflicting information online about foods that cause cancer. But the truth is that it's so much simpler than that. Now, it may be shocking to you because everyone on the internet says meat causes cancer, dairy causes cancer, sugar causes cancer. But in reality, there are only two foods that are truly linked to causing cancer: processed meat and alcohol. That means when it comes to your diet and eating, it's not about restriction, it's about strategy. But it starts with taking a deep dive look at your nutrition and making sure we have the right strategy in place for you. That helps you act from a place of power, not a place of fear. And that's exactly what we did for my client, Michelle. Check it out here.
Having to fill out my tracker just made me more aware. Like when I was on vacation, I was still tracking my food. And I thought, okay, I need this many calories today or this much protein. I've got that in. So I'm going to have a treat.
Yeah.
So I had a treat. I had ice cream or I had a puff wheat square, but it still worked into my numbers. And before it would be like, I'm just going to have 3 or 4 because I don't care.
Yeah.
Whereas this time I'm actually thinking about, okay, what have I got today that I can fit in?
Now look, sometimes the idea of eating to prevent cancer can feel overwhelming. There's a lot of conflicting information online, and you want to feel reassured and confident that you're making the right choices. If that sounds familiar to you, then apply for a diagnostic call with me. This is a chance to meet with me one-on-one, discuss your diagnosis, your treatment, and see if you and I are a good fit to work together. You can apply for a diagnostic call with me by clicking in the comments below. Now, something that you need in every meal is protein. This is what about 90% of cancer thrivers are missing. During cancer and cancer treatment, healthy cells are unavoidably damaged. This is natural and it happens. The good news is that they can heal and rejuvenate, but they need specific amino acids to do this. And amino acids come from protein. And that is why protein is so important. Now, most cancer survivors that I work with are not meeting their protein goals. If that's a possibility for you, then you need to act now. Your body needs the right fuel to recover, and this means more protein. Now, when you work directly with me, we customize your protein target. It needs to be specific to your height, your weight, your diagnosis, your treatment, your goals, your activity level. We need to consider the whole picture. Now, protein can make a massive difference in your cancer recovery and remission. Learn again here from cancer survivor and client of mine, Michelle.
Just learning about the protein, because the protein has been the big thing for me, is you don't realize, but that's a lot of protein that you have to eat. But I'm finding ways to work it into my schedule. And I'm finding the days that I don't eat enough protein, I can tell that my body's tired.
Okay, now this next strategy we've used with some very drastic results. You're going to want to know about this. Targeted exercise. We know that you can lower your risk of a cancer recurrence by as much as 59% solely through targeted exercise. When I was finished my cancer treatment and wanting to stay cancer-free, I really focused in targeted exercise. Now, targeted exercise needs to be broken into 2 pieces: cardio and strength training. You need to be getting at least 150 minutes of low to moderate intensity cardio every week. Plus, you need to be completing at least 2 to 3 strength training sessions every week. If you hit these 2 targets, then you're lowering your risk of a cancer recurrence by up to 59%. That's pretty impressive. Okay, now this next strategy might be a tough one for some cancer survivors to achieve. That's to maintain a healthy body weight. Look, maintaining a healthy body weight during and after cancer treatment, that's tricky. There are a lot of reasons why you may have gained or lost weight during your cancer or cancer treatment. Anti-hormonal drugs, steroids, surgery restrictions, stress eating. There are a lot of things that can be stacked against you. That's why so many women hugely benefit from working with an expert that focuses on maintaining your body weight after cancer or even in medical menopause. If you want to get to a healthy body weight and maintain it to help you stay cancer-free, then you need a customized plan for you. This is what's going to effectively get you to lose weight or gain weight after cancer. Okay, but let's move on to this next strategy. As cancer survivors, we all have anxiety or fear of a cancer recurrence. So what is the best way to cope with this anxiety and lessen the fear? After working with thousands of women who have been diagnosed with cancer, I've found the best strategy is to use transformative mindset work. Stop and reflect for a moment here. I want you to think if you've ever thought or said any of these things. This is just my new normal. It's only a matter of time before my cancer comes back. I'll never be the same as I was before cancer. If you ever think or say these things, then this is a fixed mindset. Now look, we all spend some time in a fixed mindset, and that's okay. But if you find that you're frequently having these thoughts and they really have a hold over you, then it needs to change. To really change your life after cancer, you need a transformative mindset. This is saying or thinking something like, I'm learning what my body needs after cancer. I want to be the healthiest version of myself ever. I'm creating an anti-cancer lifestyle. These statements are statements of power and confidence. This is someone who's in control. Your mind is powerful. If you're still constantly thinking about cancer, even though you're physically cancer-free, then you're not free at all. To truly be rid of cancer, then we need to use transformative mindset to get rid of the anxiety and the fear. Okay, and the next strategy that I use with my clients to help prevent cancer is this. Surround yourself with a community of cancer thrivers. Now, many people will join a Facebook group or community after they're diagnosed with cancer, but this is not what I'm speaking about. These Facebook groups or support groups often have incredibly anxiety-provoking statements and posts within them. Many people who are vocal and active in these groups are victimized by their cancer diagnosis. They're stuck in a place of being a cancer patient, and they want other people to complain to or join them. Now, you want to recover from cancer and be the healthiest version of yourself ever. In order to do that, you can't constantly be triggered and exposed to people who are suffering and complaining and blaming, people who are not motivated to live their best life after cancer. But look, you do not need to do all of this alone. You absolutely need a community of women around you, but it needs to be a community of cancer thrivers, people who are living their best life despite cancer. That's exactly what my client and cancer thriver, Natalia, felt when she first started working with me.
You know, I was most excited about the group calls, and my intention was to connect with other women and just to see, you know, what it felt like to get into the room and to be a part of like this container.
The truth is that so many women are held down by anxious thoughts, fear that their cancer is going to come back. It's a dark cloud that's constantly following them around. But to truly let go of cancer anxiety and fear, then you need to surround yourself with the right people. Women that are ahead of you, women who can lift you up.
And this time around, I'm like, I might just because I finished chemo, but I'm like, I'm not really thinking about it. I've like, my focus has been so like dead set on food, fuel, water, nutrition, movement, like surrounding myself with other ladies who get it and we can all like process together in your program, that I just don't really like, the fear and the worry isn't as big. Like it doesn't feel like this looming presence anymore.
You've heard that you become the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you're constantly reading negative Facebook posts or surrounding yourself with women who are victimized by cancer, then you're going to become that. So the community you surround yourself with is incredibly important. Okay, so now that you know these 5 simple strategies that I use with my clients to prevent cancer, the next thing you need to know is how to effectively use targeted exercise starting today. This is how you can lower your cancer risk by up to 59%. That's why I'm linking up this next video here. Click the link here and I'll see you in the next video.